Today we are going to talk about media types for structured cabling systems. We will focus on 3 different types. The first type is the unshielded twisted pair, also known as UTP. Inside UTP cables are a number of pairs of copper wire, usually 2 to 4, that are twisted to reduce EMI. What does EMI stand for? EMI stands for electromagnetic interference. This is energy from outside the wire that adds to the signals in the wire and creates interference. In the UTP, the twist in the cables does reduce EMI, but the cables are unshielded, so they cannot resist EMI. On the bright side, the unshielded wires are cheaper, smaller, and more flexible. With these advantages, some may still question, does UTP have any other disadvantages? There are 2 major disadvantages that happen in the UTP cables. The first is attenuation. The second is near-end crosstalk, also known as next. Attenuation refers to the reduction in the strength of a signal. As a signal travels, it attenuates and noise errors increase. As a tip to help prevent attenuation, you should limit the cord distances to 100 meters. The second issue, near-end crosstalk, occurs when energy from one signal is jumping or crossing from one pair to another. The problem occurs when a signal from one wire interferes with the signal traveling on the other. This causes the signal to stop. In order to help prevent this issue, it is recommended to limit the untwisting of wires at the connectors to 1/2 inch. The second type of cables are shielded twisted pair cables, also known as STP. Inside STP cables are a number of pairs of copper wire, 2 to 4, that are twisted and shielded with metal foil. A big advantage for this type is that the shielding provides additional protection to resist EMI. The metal shield attracts interference and then runs it into a grounded cable. You may then begin to question, what are the disadvantages to using STP? To list a few, STP cables are more expensive, bulkier, and less flexible. So what type of media is the best to use? Well, this brings us to our third and final type, fiber optic cables. These cables are used in the highest performing cabling systems. Unlike STP and UTP, fiber optics uses light pulses to transmit the information. This creates many advantages for fiber optics, including immunity to EMI, greater transmission distances because they lose energy slower, and greater bandwidth. There are two different types of fiber optics. The first type is multi-mode. The second type is single mode. In multi-mode, light travels in one of several allowed modes, therefore, distance must be short. This type is dominant in local area networks. In single mode, only one mode can propagate, therefore, there is no modal dispersion and the signals can travel longer distances.